settled, then I can take you on a bit of a different trip if I listen to some of the previous speakers. So I'm going to touch on cybersecurity and the role and the implications, especially in terms of our training and our next workforce. What are the problems and what we are supposed to do. I don't know if you've seen something like this, but currently it's creating some havoc from our government systems to our private organizations. And this is a ransomware. Now, ransomware is not a new thing. Ransomware comes a long way. It's just as our technology develops, then our criminal entities adapt to that, and then they just utilize their technology. So what the ransomware does is it's sent to you via an email link. You click on the link because you've won some millions of dollars somewhere. And that ransomware is installed on your system, and in doing that, it starts encrypting all of your disks. And you will have to pay a ransom in order to get that decrypted. And in terms of that encryption, it's normally quite an advanced encryption system that they use. So it won't help you to go about Googling and see whether you are able to decrypt that. And also then your ransom needs to be paid in a virtual currency, such as Bitcoin. You know what? Where are you with those millions of Bitcoins? What is the Bitcoin today? I think it's about 172,000 now if you buy one. And also it's very, it puts you under pressure, so it normally gives you a specific time frame in which to pay that. So you don't have these weeks and weeks to think about that. And we had a number of different ransomware that targeted different systems, and in most cases they had to pay the ransom. Will you do that? Will you pay that? Now, everybody says no, but it's criminal entities, you know, but how do you know you're going to get your stuff back? These criminal entities, especially that develops a ransomware, works on the same as an organization. They even have a support desk. So you can phone them in, and I'm seriously, you phone in and you can say, but listen, this is a bit way too high, or I don't understand this Bitcoin system, and then they assist you with it. And because if you don't, then that word will spread on the internet to say, but listen, these guys don't do what they say they are going to do. So it's quite, so yeah, pay. And currently we see a number of attacks in South Africa. We see that our famous cybersecurity hub went down for a few days, and a number of our websites, and we actually await a next big target. We haven't seen a cyber attack, but it's building up, and we can see the signs. And the bad thing is that South Africa is totally not ready for something like this. You have to keep in mind that South Africa and your cyber warfare space, that needs to be attached to your military environment. And from a military perspective, South Africa is not an attacking nation. Okay? We are the peacekeepers of Africa, and we have a defensive military strategy. But that is a huge problem, because we need guidance from upper levels in terms of how to go about in the cybersecurity space. Now, Bad Rabbit is also ransomware. You can actually, then we've seen a master deeds record where millions of South African identities are available online, so even mine. So you can visit the site, have I been pawned? You type in your email address and just check whether your data is out there. And what can you do about that? You know what, from an individual point of view, you need to stand up and you need to contact the company. You need to change your passwords. Okay, so that password 123 thing, no, don't do that. And also don't reuse your passwords. I know we have difficult remembering stuff. Yeah, we do. But you know what? There is password managers like KeyPass that you can assist in that even create the password for you. So you don't need to remember 3,000. Or you have this little black book where you write everything down. And you do. got one for different purposes, but not the password one. And then, of course, we have our spoofed emails. Sure. And our companies are losing millions and millions of rands in there. So what happens? Company A do some work for company B, sends an invoice, and either that invoice is intercepted and the banking details are changed. And then that invoice is reissued and the company paid. Now in this specific example here, it was at the Pole Mall. They did some work there. It was a construction company, and it was, I think it was about 750,000. It was paid, and then after a while, you know what, company A starts complaining, but you know what, you're not paying your bill. And you said, but we did. And whose problem is that then? Because they did pay, but they paid that into a different account. And then it's spread in your banking system. Because we have to keep in mind how our banking system alerts of something that is going on. And if it's below a certain value, then you know what, they don't pick it up. And I will talk about the money meals just a bit later. And then our phones. So we all have these magic devices that we walk around with. And if you've got an antivirus system on your phone, whoa, that's about 0.05% of this audience. And if you've got an antivirus system, for instance, on your laptops, all of you. Okay, so what's the difference between my laptop and my phone? Well, let's think about that. I do my bank on my phone, I've got all my emails on my phone, I've got access to my intranets, I've got access to my work databases. So what's the difference? It's just I see the the Excel spreadsheet on my laptop a bit bigger now than on the phone. That's how I won't do but the security thing. And then we access our Wi-Fi. Are you connected to this local Wi-Fi? No, I don't do that. We all do that. No. Because sometimes your data runs out. No. And then you sit at this local coffee shop or you sit at the hotel and you utilize that Wi-Fi. No. It's just you have to understand the technology and you have to understand the dangers, and it's quite easy to protect yourself. It's not this, you know what, this black space. A virtual private network, a VPN, install one, get the app on your phone, not the free versions. Okay, free versions in terms of antivirus, no. Okay, VPNs also, free version, no. Okay, go and buy yourself a bit, they are not that expensive. So whenever you have to connect to an open network, it's just enable that VPN, and then it forms this encrypted tunnel between you and your bank, and you and Facebook. Otherwise everybody will see what did you had for dinner last night, and you know, that type of stuff. Okay, so it's very easy to protect yourself there, but don't just access an open Wi-Fi. Okay, make sure, even if you go to Mug and Bean, all that I do is I set up a hotspot on my phone and I call it Mug and Bean. And I make it open, no password. So everybody that comes and sit there connect to my phone. Okay, and then we capture the packets, and what you see on your phone, I see as well. Okay, think about that. Okay. Don't trust anyone, just look around you. You trust these people? No, I don't think so. Some of you look a bit dodgy, but you know, it's those that don't, you know, it's the straight faces one that you need to worry about. In terms of cybersecurity, I always say security is about people. It's not a technology thing. You have to understand people. Why don't we do the antivirus on our phones? You know what? Why do we connect to Wi-Fi in an open environment? Now, this was actually a case that happened simultaneously. It happened in Stellenbosch and Centurion. It was a Saturday night at one of the local clubs there, university. You know what type of rich kid environment, isn't it? So most of them have got the smartphones, like the upper class. Who's got the iPhone now? So, yeah, you see the people with money. So the iPhones, and then you have the lower levels, the Androids that comes in, and Just remember that Android is not a secure phone. Your Android operating system is not secure. Your Google Play environment, sure. Just be careful there. So that's why you need that additional stuff on your phone. What we're going to say? So what happened is that we have to understand how the criminal entities goes about, because your security space in terms of your physical security and your cyber security, you know what? That's an integrated thing. You can't just say, but this is physical security. We look at the cameras here, and we look at the proxy here, and everything is connected. So you think that you install your cameras at home to have better security for your family. But then you connect that on the internet, so you can lie on the beach and watch what is going on in your home. But so can anybody else. Okay, so I can access that camera. Ooh, now you have to think. Where do you have cameras in your house? Is it just outside or maybe inside? Okay, so what happens here is that they have runners, and they have the people that pickpockets the phone, because you know what, everybody's having a good time, alcohol is flowing, and before you know, then a number of phones disappeared, quite a number of them disappeared. I think from the one club you picked up 10. So then it makes its way. So your iPhone, if your Android devices also, you can locate the phone. But in this case, the location stopped somewhere in Belleville. And what happened then is, you will receive, you can, if you do on the iPhone, this was an iPhone example, you can set that, you know what, this phone goes into lock mode, and that, so if somebody picks up the phone, then it will display just an error message, not an error message, just a message to say, but this phone has been stolen or misplaced, and please call this number. Okay, so now what happens here is that it actually, we received that message. I don't know whether you can read there, but if I can come over, I'll can actually obvious. If you look at there in the middle screen to say, but there's a Find My iPhone alert, and it gives you a link. Now, just look at, if you can read that link, it states, Apple online support is here at Zero. But yeah, that's something weird there. Apple is not a local company. Okay, so the .co.za won't work there. And Apple online support. So whenever you want to check a URL, just hover your mouse and you will see the actual link. And the thing about a URL is just that part before the .com or the .org or the .coza. Just that part, because that's the actual server where that communication will be routed to. So if it's apple.co.za, it's fine. .com, it's fine. And if it's online.apple.com, then it's fine, because Apple is the one before the .com. But if it's Apple online support, now Apple online support and Apple is not the same thing. So that's why they play around and they send you these phishing links that you see. It's APSA or apsa.ib.co.za. And you know APSA use the IB page for the internet banking. So they play around with that URL. Anyway, okay, so that's the wrong one. And if you click on that link, then it takes you to the iCloud and it asks you for the Apple ID and the password. Now remember, these guys got the phone. The phone is locked. Okay, so they need to wipe that phone so that they can resell that, because it's all about this device. But now they struggle a bit to do that. No, it's only a local organization. So Belleville is not that advanced. So they're struggling a bit with clearing this iPhone. So now that appears, now that is actually a cloned site. And it really takes you 2 minutes to clone a site. And they are just harvesting the details. So they want you to actually enter your Apple ID with a password, and then they capture that and they can clear the phone. So they can log into your phone and they can say, but this one is no longer stolen, and wipe the information. Okay, so we did a bit of a search, and what happened next is these guys start communicating via WhatsApp. Can you believe that? Okay, so what's wrong here? WhatsApp and Apple. You know, they were friends, and then no, they weren't any friends anymore. You know what, these big companies, they seem to corner themselves within and connect with only specific companies. Okay, and then also, you know what, it's like Google Translate. It's not always that efficient. Have you tried Google Translate? We all do. Because you know what, English is not our first language in most cases. Okay, so these guys as well. So if you look at that Translate, then especially where will you give an online support system such as Apple that will do a message like, hey, how are you? Huh? No, I don't think so. Not going to work there. Okay, and then what follows is we tried to keep him on the line. We did some tracing, and it was actually a number registered in Germany, but the service that it went through was actually Russian servers. And then at the end, he sort of started losing control. But what we also found is on Twitter that he's actually selling that as a service, the software to clone the iCloud login site. Okay, so now you see how this works. So these guys in Belleville now bought the software from this dude in Russia. And now it doesn't work because, you know what, we're not entering and they can't harvest this password, and now they want their money back. So now, what this guy's doing then is he's trying to lure you in and say, but listen, somebody's got your phone and you need to log in now. And he even sent us pictures and make up these names that, you know what, like sounds like an African name, but they totally misspell that. So it's just very interesting case. And at the end, he actually blocked us from WhatsApp because he couldn't get out. And then you know what? They wait a week and they start again. You get the SMS again, and they will start the process all over again. And then we get to the previous speaker mentioned the Internet of Things, where everything is connected. We walk around in a mall and your phone immediately detects that, or the mall detects that you are there. And then they start sending you specials. It's just like your search engine. Okay, what do we use as a search engine? Oh, Google God. We just ask him everything, you know, anything, and he will just give us these magic answers. And these other search engines as well, just for note-taking. You know what, Google is not the only one. So what's the problem with Google? Google is ad-driven, it's money-driven. So it will give you what the algorithm thinks will bring in the most money, not what you asked. Yeah, it's not what you asked. So if you use a different search engine that doesn't keep a profile, such as DuckDuckGo, then you will see different results. And magically, if you actually do that VPN install on your phone, then you can choose that you are from another country. And the moment that you do a search as if you are from Belgium, then you will get different results. Okay, and magically the world will open up to you. And it's not just this narrow thing that we see in South Africa and think we are the world. Okay, so these are the camera systems. I've just located some local cameras and just see whether they are open. And you can see it's from outside premises to private properties to inside. I can even monitor your kids inside. I can even access your baby monitors. That's scary. Okay, it's not just about you. If you don't look after your security, then it impacts the guy next to you. Okay, because security is about people, and we are all involved in this. Not just me and not just you, all of us. Okay, so we need to just be that tad paranoid. Okay, so that security awareness within cyberspace, we do that in our physical space. You know what, if you walk down here on the street, then it's, where's my wallet and my phone, and I keep it close, and if somebody approaches you, then it's, you know what, all senses is on high alert, whether this guy is going to rob me or not. But when we're on the internet, we don't do that. We visit all the sites, porn-ups, and nothing wrong with that. Which one? And then we have specific attack cases, such as this hotel in Sweden, where they use this automatic card system to have access to your room, and they lock down all of the rooms. And so what happens? So either you have people inside the room that can't get out, or your guest that's outside that can't get in. And they had to pay ransom. Ransom wasn't much. I think it was just below $10,000 that they had to pay in Bitcoin. But now take that scenario to something else, like one of our local mines. Now you have this shaft. And what happens in the shaft? Now it takes these people up and down, how many kilometers down to earth, and now it's stuck. That lift gets stuck in the middle because of ransomware. Okay, so what is the mine going to do? Hang around and discuss this, or get a committee together and let's see what we can do about it? No, you have to pay instantly.